All right. Today we're talking more about public speaking, selecting topics, purpose, and central ideas of speeches for our multimodal projects. When a speaker is enthusiastic about his or her ideas, how do listeners usually react? Enthusiasm is contagious. Listeners often respond positively to a speaker who is passionate about their ideas. They become more engaged, attentive, and are more likely to be persuaded or inspired by the speaker's message. Again, this is no different than what we've been talking about since the beginning of the semester, except, we're talking about, public speaking now instead of writing messages. We're talking about speaking messages. Again, as I've been saying, if you choose topics you are passionate about, that's going to come across in your speech. Name the three main strategies for selecting a good speech topic. Choose something you're personally interested in. Choose a topic you're passionate about to enhance your enthusiasm and connect with the audience. Again, I'd also say here, if you choose something you're personally interested in, it is very likely that you'll already know quite a bit about the information as well. So it'll be a little bit easier for you to speak about. Audience interest. Consider the preferences, needs, and interests of your audience to ensure relevance and engagement. In this case, you could choose something that your audience, that the audience is interested in, right? I think that would be a little bit harder. Or current events and trends. Select topics that are timely and relevant and that reflect contemporary issues or trends. Obviously, you can check the news if you're somebody that is watches a lot of news, and you could choose something from there that will hopefully connect with audiences as well. How does brainstorming work? Brainstorming involves generating a large number of ideas without initially evaluating them. It encourages free thinking and creativity. The aim is to explore a variety of potential topics before refining and selecting the most suitable one. The three general purposes for speeches are: 1, to be informative, provide the audience with new knowledge or insights. I like informative speeches. I've seen a lot of good ones. Cooking are always good ones, right? I had a student one time do an informative speech about origami, and I think that was one of the best ones I had in any class because he was able to, pass out little bits of paper with the speech, and everybody was able to follow along. It was a very good informative speech. Then we have persuasive speeches that try to convince the audience to adopt or change a belief, attitude, or behavior. And entertaining speeches engage and amuse the audience and provide enjoyment and relaxation. When I think about entertaining speeches, I always think about stand-up comedians personally. That's the most entertaining type of speech, in my opinion. But there's no reason why an informative speech or a persuasive speech can't be entertaining as well. In fact, I'd argue some of the best or most persuasive speeches probably are entertaining as well, right? You're more likely to be persuaded or to be informed by something that you also find entertaining. Are jokes required for an entertaining speech? Jokes are not required, but humor is always beneficial. It can enhance engagement and make the speech more enjoyable. However, humor should align with the audience's sensibilities, and the speaker's delivery should be natural and appropriate for the occasion. I personally don't try to write a lot of jokes into my speeches or my lecture notes, but when I see the opportunity for a joke when I'm talking and I think students might think it's funny, I will try to include it. That doesn't always work, but sometimes it does. What are hidden purposes and how should you handle them? Hidden purposes are the underlying objectives or motives in a speech. It's essential to be transparent and ethical about these purposes. If there are hidden agendas, it may lead to distrust. Handle them by being upfront or reevaluating the motives to align with the audience's expectations. And then here are the criteria discussed for writing a specific purpose statement. Clearly state the purpose. The purpose should be clearly expressed. It should be measurable. It should be possible to assess whether the goal has been achievable. The purpose should be realistic and attainable. Relevant. It must be directly related to the topic and the audience's needs. time bound. There should be a specific time frame for achieving the purpose, and audience centered. It should consider the audience's interests and expectations. What is the central idea of a speech? The central idea is also known as the thesis statement, is the main point or primary message the speaker wants to convey. It encapsulates the core theme or argument of the speech. And what's the difference between the specific purpose and the central idea? The specific purpose outlines the overall goal of the speech to inform, persuade, or entertain, while the central idea is a concise statement that encapsulates the main point or message the speaker intends to convey within that purpose. And for the central idea, is an assertion or announcement better? An assertion is better for the central idea, as an assertion makes a clear declarative statement about the topic, presenting a specific point of view or argument. It provides focus and clarity that guides the audience in understanding the primary message of the speech. Now we're talking about selecting topics and purpose in central ideas, preparing your speech, brainstorming topics. So when you're brainstorming, first, you're going to consider your interests and hobbies. What excites you? What are you knowledgeable about? Align your interests with the speech requirements and find a balance between personal passion and audience engagement. For example, if you're passionate about science, consider climate change as a broad topic, but remember it needs refinement. Brainstorming is a crucial step in speech preparation. Here's a comprehensive list of things you can do to brainstorm speech topics. Personal interests and hobbies. List your personal interests and hobbies. Consider activities you enjoy in your free time, and think about topics that genuinely excite you. Current events and issues. Stay updated on current events and global issues. Explore news articles, magazines, and online sources for inspiration. Identify topics that resonate with both you and potential audiences. Find a passionate cause. Consider a social or environmental cause you're passionate about. Think about issues that need more awareness or understanding. Professional expertise. Reflect on your professional expertise or field of study. Identify areas where you have in-depth knowledge and share insights from your personal expertise. Audience relevance. Consider the interests and needs of your audience. Think about topics that are relevant and engaging for your specific audience. Surveys and polls. Conduct surveys or polls to gather opinions. Use the feedback to identify topics that resonate with your audience. Online platforms and forums. Explore online forums and discussion platforms. Engage in conversations to understand trending topics and concerns. Brainstorm sessions with peers. Collaborate with classmates or peers. Conduct brainstorming sessions to generate diverse ideas. Or you could use the problem-solving approach. Identify challenges or problems in your community or field, then brainstorm solutions or informative perspectives related to these issues. Visual aids and mind mapping. You could create a visual aid or mind map to visually organize ideas, and then connect related concepts and explore potential speech angles. Reflect on personal experiences. Think about personal experiences that carry a valuable message. Consider sharing anecdotes or lessons learned. Explore different speech types. Consider different speech types, informative, persuasive, or entertaining speeches, and explore topics suitable for the specific speech type you're assigned. You could use a creative technique. Use creative techniques like word association or free writing. Allow your mind to wander and jot down any ideas that come to mind. Surprising or counterintuitive ideas. Explore topics that challenge common perceptions. Consider presenting information that may surprise or intrigue your audience. You could evaluate online resources. Explore online databases, TED Talks, or other speech platforms. Identify topics that inspire you or offer unique perspectives. Remember, the goal of brainstorming is to generate a pool of ideas. You can then refine and narrow down these ideas based on the specific requirements and preferences for your speech. Step 2, narrowing down your topic. Recognize that broad topics like climate change require focus. Explore specific aspects that can make your speech compelling. Think about potential ideas within the broader category. In our example, renewable energy stands out as a specific and informative topic. Narrow down speech ideas, a comprehensive guide. First, clarify speech requirements. Review the specific requirements of your speech assignment. Understand the objectives, time constraints, and any guidelines provided by your instructor. Define your speech purpose. Identify the primary purpose of your speech. Is it going to be informative, persuasive, or entertaining? Clarify whether your goal is to educate, convince, or engage the audience. Consider audience relevance. Keep your audience in mind. Consider their interests, knowledge level, and preferences. Choose a topic that's not only interesting to you, but also resonates with your audience. Then focus on specific aspects. If your initial brainstorming yielded broad topics, focus on specific aspects. Narrow down the scope to make your speech more manageable and targeted. Explore your passion points. Identify aspects of the topic that genuinely excite or concern you. Passionate delivery enhances your speech and captivates the audience. Consider time constraints. Evaluate the time allotted for your speech. Ensure the chosen topic can be adequately covered within the time frame. Again, for our purposes in this class, most of these speeches or presentations should probably be about 3 to 5 minutes. And I think that you could probably talk about almost anything in that amount of time, right? 3 to 5 minutes is not too long to talk about something. Check the availability of resources. Assess the availability of credible resources for your chosen topic. Ensure there is enough information to support your key points. Again, for 3 to 5 minutes, I'm sure that you can find plenty of material to talk about for that. Refine your speech type. If you're assigned a specific speech type, for example, an informative or persuasive speech, tailor your topic accordingly. Ensure your chosen topic aligns with the purpose of the speech. Connect with personal experiences. If possible, connect your topic with a personal experience. Sharing relatable stories enhances audiences' engagement and authenticity. Again, if you're going to give a speech about something you know a lot about, try to add a personal story into that speech. It's going to make it a lot more interesting, and it's going to give a lot more for you to talk about, right? Test audience engagement. Consider how engaging your topic is for the audience. Will it captivate their interest and provoke thoughtful responses? Consider novelty and interest. Aim for a balance between novelty and audience interest. Choose aspects of your topic that are fresh, intriguing, or present a unique perspective. Evaluate persuasive elements. If your speech is persuasive, identify elements that can sway opinions. Focus on persuasive arguments, evidence, and a compelling call to action. Then finalize your central idea. Develop a clear and concise central idea that encapsulates your topic and objectives. Your central idea is the guiding statement for your entire speech. Seek feedback. Share your refined topic and central idea with peers or instructors. Gather feedback to ensure your speech concept is clear and engaging. Then revise and finalize. Based on feedback and self-evaluation, make necessary revisions. Finalize your speech topic, ensuring it aligns with the assignment requirements. These comprehensive notes provide a step-by-step guide to narrowing down your speech ideas. By following these steps, you can refine your focus and create a well-crafted speech that effectively communicates your message to the audience. Step 3, identify general and specific purpose. Use guidelines from your text to determine the general and specific purpose of your speech document or your chosen topic. General purpose and specific purpose. This information will guide your speech development. And then develop your central idea. Understand that your central idea is like a thesis statement in an essay. It encapsulates your topic, objective, and the overall direction of your speech. Then draft your central idea based on your specific purpose. It may evolve as you conduct more research and write your speech. Now we're talking about visual aids, which kind of gets us into our multimodal project here. Visual aids are essential tools for enhancing the effectiveness of presentations, and here are 6 types. We have slides, PowerPoint or Keynote slides containing text, images, graphs, and charts. We have charts and graphs, bar graphs, pie charts, line graphs, and scatter plots visually represent data. Infographics are visual representations of information, data, or knowledge that are intended to present complex information quickly and clearly. Videos, short video clips or animation that engage audience and illustrate concepts. Models or props, physical objects or replicas used to demonstrate or illustrate a point. And whiteboards or flip charts, interactive tools for writing or drawing information during a presentation. Is it illegal to use graphics from the internet in a student speech in the classroom? It is not inherently illegal to use graphics from the internet in a student speech in the classroom, but it depends on how the graphics are used. Using graphics without proper attribution or permission from the copyright holder may violate copyright laws. However, certain exceptions such as fair use for educational purposes may apply. It's essential for students to understand copyright laws and use images responsibly, giving credit to the original source whenever possible or seeking permission for use if necessary. What are the worst mistakes that plague PowerPoint slides? Some common mistakes that plague PowerPoint slides include A. Overloading with text. Slides crowded with text can overwhelm the audience and make it difficult to absorb information. Poor design. Cluttered or visually unappealing slides can distract from the message and decrease audience engagement. Excessive bullet points. Too many bullet points can lead to information overload and diminish the impact of key points. Lack of visual variety. Using only text or bullet points without incorporating visuals like images, graphs, or charts can make slides monotonous. Illegible fonts. Small fonts or overlay decorative fonts can make text difficult to read, especially from a distance. Ignoring accessibility. Failing to consider accessibility features like color contrast or font size can exclude audience members with visual impairments. List at least 5 media for presenting visual aids. Various media can be used to present visual aids efficiently. Here are 5 examples. Projectors. Projectors display slides or images using a projector onto a screen or wall. Computer monitors show slides or videos on a computer monitor for smaller group presentations. Document cameras display physical documents, props, or objects in real time using a document camera. Or we could use television screens. Present slides or videos on television screens for smaller meetings or classrooms. Or interactive whiteboards. They allow presenters to write, draw, or interact with digital content displayed on a whiteboard surface. The text recommends that you aim for back row comprehension. What does this mean and why is this advice necessary? Aim for back row comprehension means designing visual aids and presentations in a way that ensures even audience members seated in the back row can understand and engage with the content. This advice is necessary because not all audience members will have front row seats or optimal viewing positions. By designing visual aids with clear, concise content, large enough text, and high contrast colors, presenters can ensure that everyone in the audience, regardless of their seating arrangement, can comprehend the information being presented. And how can speakers test the visibility of their visuals? You can test the visibility of your visuals by following these steps. Do a distance check. Stand at the back of the room where the farthest audience member will be seated and assess the visibility of the visual aid. Font size. Ensure the text on slides or visuals is large enough to be read from a distance without straining. Check your color contrast. Check that colors used in visuals have sufficient contrast to be distinguishable, especially for those with visual impairments. Projection quality. Test the quality of projected visuals under different lighting conditions to ensure clarity and readability. Practice runs. Conduct practice runs for the presentation if the actual presentation space to identify any visibility issues and make adjustments as needed. And for the benefit of people with the most common form of color blindness, which colors should never be placed next to overlaying each other in visual aids? For people with the most common form of color blindness, red, green color blindness, colors that should never be placed next to or overlaying each other in visual aids include red and green. These colors are challenging for individuals with red-green color blindness to distinguish, leading to confusion and difficulty interpreting visual information. Instead, opt for high contrast color combinations such as black and white or blue and yellow. Is it always a mistake for a speaker to wait until the conclusion of a presentation to show a visual or perform a demonstration? It's not always a mistake for a speaker to wait until the conclusion of a presentation to show a visual or perform a demonstration, but it depends on the context and purpose of the presentation. In some cases, strategically saving a powerful visual or demonstration for the conclusion can leave a lasting impression and reinforce key points. However, if the visual or demonstration is essential for understanding earlier content or engaging the audience throughout the presentation, waiting until the end may diminish its impact. Speakers should consider the flow of the presentation, audience engagement, and the intended effect of visuals or demonstrations when deciding on their timing. Why would it be a mistake to circulate a small photograph during your speech? Circulating a small photograph during a speech can be a mistake for several reasons. Visibility. Small photographs may be difficult for audience members to see clearly, especially in larger venues or classrooms. They could be a distraction. Passing around a photograph can disrupt the flow of the presentation and distract audience members from the speaker's message. Time consumption. Waiting for the photograph to circulate amongst audience members can waste valuable presentation time and detract from the speaker's allotted speaking time. And accessibility. Audience members with visual impairments or mobility limitations may have difficulty viewing or accessing the photograph, excluding them from fully participating in the presentation. What is progressive revelation? Progressive revelation is a technique used in presentations or storytelling where information is gradually revealed or unveiled over time, building suspense and engaging the audience's interest. Instead of presenting all information at once, presenters strategically reveal key points or plot developments in a sequence, keeping the audience intrigued and eager to learn more. Progressive revelation can be achieved through the use of visuals, storytelling techniques, or multimedia presentations, enhancing the overall impact and effectiveness of the message being conveyed. Effective use of visual aids in speech. Planning your presentation. Consider the audience's knowledge and learning objectives, defining goals, topics, and scopes of information, determining presentation length and adhering to time limits, creating slides, plan, aligning PowerPoint content with the speech's argument and evidence, use text to guide readers for clear and concise text on slides, have headings with bulleted points, font size, and avoid all capital letters, figures and images, select relevant and clear visuals, labeling, add units to graphs and charts, general design principles, enhance visual appeal while maintaining clarity, and embrace empty space. Use consistent alignment and color schemes. Oral presentations. Importance of practice and refinement in delivering speeches. Rehearsing the presentation for clarity and timing. And tips for delivering the speech while using visual aids effectively. Always have a backup plan. Prepare for potential technical failures. Save multiple copies of the presentation and have a paper version as a backup. Practice your presentation without relying solely on visual aids. Again, I always like to say, I have a lot of discussion questions just in case I've got a class that wants to chat a lot, and I have a lot of just notes just in case I have to speak the whole time, right? Sometimes you never know what kind of class you're going to have. And handouts as a visual aid. Handouts are a supplementary material provided to audience members during a presentation. They facilitate audience engagement. They allow the audience to follow along. Handouts provide audience members with tangible references to follow the speaker's points. They cater to different learning styles. By giving handouts, you recognize that some individuals learn better through visual or written materials. Handouts accommodate diverse learning preferences by offering written content in addition to verbal communication. They enhance comprehensive retention. They reinforce key concepts. Handouts serve as a reinforcement tool by providing written summaries of the presentation's main points. They provide reference material. Audience members can refer back to handouts after the presentation for review or further study. Handouts serve as a reference guide, ensuring that audience members retain important information. They empower audience autonomy. They encourage active participation. Handouts enable audience members to engage actively with the material by following along and taking notes. They facilitate self-paced learning. Audience members can review handouts at their own pace, allowing for deeper understanding and retention, and they support accessibility. Handouts provide accessible information for individuals with visual or auditory impairments, ensuring inclusivity in presentations. As we come to the end of this class, I want to take a moment to reflect on the most important writing lessons we've covered this semester. Writing is a skill that evolves with practice, and my hope is that the tools and strategies you've learned will help you succeed, not just in academics, but in every area of life. Here's a recap of the essential writing knowledge we've explored. Writing is a process, not a product. Plan and organize. Writing starts with brainstorming and outlining. A strong plan saves time and ensures clarity. Revise relentlessly. Your first draft is never your final draft. Revising allows you to refine ideas and polish language. Edit strategically. Look for grammar, spelling, and punctuation areas, but also pay attention to sentence structure and flow. Know your audience and purpose. Tailor your tone, style, and language to your audience and your writing goal. Always ask, what do I want my reader to know, feel, or do? Strong arguments require evidence. Support your ideas with credible sources, data, and examples. Avoid generalizations and back every claim with specific evidence. 4, clarity is king. Avoid jargon and overly complex sentences. Simple, clear language communicates ideas most effectively. Use transitions to guide your reader through your arguments seamlessly. 5, develop your voice. Academic writing doesn't have to be boring. Be confident in your ideas and let your unique perspective shine through. Don't be afraid to experiment with style as long as it serves the purpose of your writing. Very important one. Cite your sources properly. Giving credit is essential to maintaining academic integrity and in building credibility. Learn the citation style required for your field. In this class, it's been APA, and apply it consistently. This is going to save you a lot of time, right, if you learn to do this well now. Avoid common pitfalls. Run-on sentences. Break them up into manageable thoughts. Absolute terms. Words like always or never can weaken arguments if not used carefully. Starting sentences with fanboys, if we remember talking about that. For and not, but, or, yet, and so. Use coordinating conjunctions to connect ideas, not to start new sentences unnecessarily. Again, the one I mostly see is but everybody in here has been doing a pretty good job this semester not doing things like that. Be concise but thorough. Cut unnecessary words while ensuring all ideas are fully explained. Write for impact. Start strong. Hook your reader with a powerful introduction. End with purpose. Leave your reader with a clear understanding of your argument or a call to action. Embrace feedback. Writing improves when you invite others to review your work. Take criticism as an opportunity to grow. Writing is a skill you'll continue to develop throughout your life. Whether it's for an essay, a job application, or a personal project, the tools you've gained here are meant to help you communicate with purpose and power. And then part 2, life lessons beyond writing. As we wrap up our time together, I want to share some personal advice that I found valuable. These aren't just lessons for writing or school, but for life. I hope they resonate with you as you move forward. 1. Work hard. Hard work and dedication can take you further than you might expect. Intelligence is only half the battle. It's the effort and perseverance you put into your goals that will make the biggest difference. I truly believe that each of you can accomplish whatever you set your mind to if you're willing to put in the work. 2. Take chances. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Opportunities will come your way, but you have to be ready to seize them. Sometimes the biggest risks lead to the biggest rewards. 3. Be nice to people, even when it's hard. Kindness goes a long way, even when others aren't necessarily kind in return. You never know who you'll meet or what opportunities might come from simply striking up a conversation or lending a helping hand. Many of the best opportunities I've had in life came about because I took the time to chat with the right people. 4. Take care of yourself. Your physical and mental health are interconnected, and both are essential for fulfilling life. When you take care of yourself by eating well, getting enough rest, and managing stress, tasks that once felt overwhelming become easier to handle. Remember, burnout is real, and sometimes doing nothing is just as important as doing everything. Believe in yourself. You're capable of so much more than you realize. Hard work, determination, and a positive mindset can help you overcome obstacles and achieve your goals. Never let self-doubt hold you back from pursuing what matters to you. Embrace rest and balance. It's important to push yourself, but it's just as important to know when to stop. Taking breaks isn't lazy, it's necessary. Rest allows you to recharge and return to your tasks with fresh energy and focus. Final thought, the journey is yours. Life is full of challenges, surprises, and opportunities. It's up to you to take chances, work hard, and treat yourself and others with kindness along the way. No matter what path you choose, remember that every step you take is a step toward the person you're becoming. Thank you for letting me be part of your journey this semester. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. You've got this.